Peace, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chad. Sloan, she's out securing her bag right now, so it's just me. But I'm gonna tell y'all a good story time. This might just be the illest story you ever heard in your life. Listen to me now. As I'm sure y'all all know, we just came back from an amazing trip in Costa Rica. Pura vida. It was unforgettable. The experience, the people, everything. But I almost didn't make it on that trip. Why? Because I almost was not able to get my passport in time. Unbelievable story how I was able to pull it off, all that we went through, all of the headaches, all of the hurdles, all of the obstacles, all of the shenanigans. You will not believe it. And I'm about to get into this story in just a few, but in the meantime, make sure you hit that like button, punch that subscribe button, put the notifications on, rock out with the Win family. I know we've been gone for a little bit, little hiatus, but we back. We've been cooking up some stuff. We're gonna be back better than ever. More blogs, more videos, a little bit of everything. So, with all of that being said, make sure you join the family, and I'm gonna get into this story. Crazy story, y'all, crazy. All right, so let's get into it. So first of all, the whole idea of taking a vacation to Costa Rica was an idea that started about a year prior to us actually going on a vacation. I came up with the idea a while back, even way before meeting Sloan. It was always like a fantasy that I had of, like, you know, being in the rainforest, seeing the scenery, being with the people. You know, around that time I was real heavy into learning Spanish, and that was one of the countries that I wanted to go to. It was Mexico and Costa Rica. First it was Mexico on the top of the list, then it became Costa Rica, and it was like always something in the back of my mind. So when me and Sloan, we were talking about vacations, I was like, yo, I want to go to Costa Rica for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? Then later on down the line, she was like, she wanted to go to PR. So we went to PR, then Costa Rica, but you don't need your passport for PR. So we end up going to PR and all of that, but Costa Rica ends up being a crazy dilemma. So look, we saved all of this money for a whole year. We're just stacking money up, stacking money up, stacking money up for this trip. But I never had my passport, because I used to be in a situation where I couldn't even leave the country. I never left the country. Long story short, I never left the country. I always wanted to, but I never left the country, never had my passport. COVID hits. COVID hits, slows everything down. We're stacking this money up. We're planning all of these things, all these excursions. COVID hits, and Sloan is telling me, to her credit, she's telling me, she's like, yo, you should start working on getting your passport. This is like in October, November, December. She's like, you should start working on getting your passport. We're planning on going on this trip in July. I'm like, it doesn't matter if I start working on getting it in like the spring. You know what I'm saying? So time's passing by, and she's like, no, really, you should really start working on getting your passport ASAP because of COVID. It's backed up. She said that. I give her that. I know she's gonna be like, I told you. So it gets to about March, April, and I'm just like, all right, I think I should get my passport now. So I go to the local passport center to try to get a passport. They have no appointments available. So I end up finding out how to get it done at the post office. Easy. Call them up. Yeah, you can come in right tomorrow. Just get your picture, all that. So I go back the next day, picture, everything seemed easy, paid the price. It'll be there 10 to 12 weeks. 10 to 12 weeks from April would mean it would arrive in June. No one's thinking it's not gonna arrive in June, because 10 to 12 weeks is more than enough time to get a piece of paper to someone who's trying to leave the country, right? That's what we would think. So we're still planning, we're putting more and more money together, more plans, more ideas, all of this good stuff. We're talking about it, and time is passing. I still have no passport. So literally, we're like looking in the mail every day, waiting for it to come through the mail slot. It never comes. So we're creeping up on June now, and it's like, maybe we should start finding something out about this passport, because it's like, we got this whole trip planned. What if, worst case scenario, you don't get the passport? But I'm always trying to be an optimistic thinker. I'm like, no, it's gotta come. So I go to the post office. They have no information on the passport. Zero information. So they're just telling me it's gonna arrive when it's supposed to arrive. So it's getting closer and closer. Now we're in June, it still didn't arrive. So now we're starting to get worried. I'm starting to get worried, but I don't want to tell Sloawn that I'm starting to get worried, because then she's gonna get worried, and then it's gonna turn into a big thing, and it's like, oh, panicking and everything, because we put a lot of money into this trip. So I'm trying to go about this the most logical, feasible way. So we go back to the post office. They're like, look, we sent it out at this time. It's in Philadelphia. It's in their P.O. box. We don't know if they took it out of the P.O. box, but it's there. It's out of our hands now. So now we're like, well, where do we go? They got the information you could go to online, the toll-free number, the 1-800 number, whatever. You can't get through. It's busy all day. There was one day I was on this line on hold for literally the whole day. I worked out, went to the grocery store, did everything. I was training clients. I had them on hold. No one answered. Online, no status. Type my information in, no status, no information. So now it's creeping up into getting into July, and I still have no information on this passport. So now we're getting panicked. So now me and Sloawn's both starting to panic, because we're like, yo, what if your passport doesn't come and you can't go on this trip? So now the reality of that being so is starting to become more and more imminent. Like, yo, this could actually be something. So we pushing up. We go back to the passport information center. Well, Sloawn's headed off to work, and she's like, yo, make sure you go back there in Westville. So I go there. The first time I went there, they wouldn't even really let me through the door. So packed, no appointments, no nothing. Just so happened I go there and I find the lady who's walking out from her shift, and I'm trying to talk to the security guards and everything. I'm like, yo, I'm not about to miss out on this trip, man. We put money into this. I'm like, yo, I need to make my trip. They're like, well, look, we can't help you. The lady on the way out, she's like, look, it's a lot of people going through this right now. I got a guy, his whole family went on a trip to Turks and Caicos. He's sitting at home. I'm like, oh, I didn't tell Sloawn that. I'm like, what? This is something that's happening? People missing out on their trips? I'm like, no, we need to find a solution. We need to do something. So she's like, look, write Cory Booker. She starts giving me congressmen's names, all of this. So I'm like, wow, I didn't think this was, she's like, just keep writing them. Call. She gave me like 3 different congressional office members' names and Cory Booker, the senator. So I go back, tell Sloawn. She's like, wow, we got to do this. We start writing the Assemblywoman, Bonnie Watson Coleman. We start writing senators, congressmen, congresswomen. We start writing all these people calling, can't get through. This whole process of writing government officials and emails and faxing and calling was like a 2.5, 3-week process in itself, to really no avail. I need my passport. This is urgent. I don't want to miss out on this trip. Okay, we got your information. We'll get back to you on such and such business days. Big circle of feeling like you might be getting a little somewhere, but really getting nowhere. So it's like, oh, fill out this. Oh, you call, everybody's working remote. You can't get no answers. So now literally we're in July. We have to go to Puerto Rico. The plan was to go from Puerto Rico to Costa Rica. Now we're going to Puerto Rico. I still have no passport. I come back. We come back from Puerto Rico the 5th. The Puerto Rico was a 4-day trip. Yeah, so we come back the 5th. Costa Rica was set. We had the flights, everything booked, Airbnb, excursions, everything starting the 14th. We come back the 5th. I still have no passport, no word, everything. We reached out to Cory Booker, the mayor, to the government, to the motherfucking president, word to Nas. Like, we reached out to everybody. No word. So now it's like, we're literally panicking. Like, we're panicking to the point where it's causing friction between us. We starting to argue back and forth about this. Like, we got so mad. Well, Sloawn got so mad at me one day because she calling and getting mad with the people, and she done cursed me out in Creole one day. Like, I'm like, damn, I never heard it. She said, I'm like, damn, I never, I never heard her curse. Like, it was getting so crazy over this damn passport. It was like so much like tension, like, man, like, cause she's getting mad cause she don't want to end up wasting all the energy and money she put in. I put money and energy into it, and she's like, oh, what am I gonna do now for the trip? And I'm just like, it's really getting to the point where it's literally days until it's the 14th, and we're like all out of options. Like, no one's answering. We reach a guy. Shout out to Jeff Smith. He was working with Bob Menendez's office. Bob Menendez isn't even covering the district that we live in. He's covering Jersey City up north. Now, we done reached out to so many different congressmen, some that will be like, yo, we're not even covering your area, so we can't talk to you. Bob Menendez's office took the case and helped out. Jeff Smith, he pushes it through to the secretary. The secretary name was, I think, Jeremy, whatever. I'm not going to drop the full name. He's helpful enough to communicate with me through email about what he's doing. So I'm keep reaching out to him. He's like, look, I reached out to the passport center. I'm waiting for a response. This is all I can tell you. I'm like, please, man, tell me something. I'm calling everybody. I'm calling back to the senator. I'm like, do you think that I'll be able to get this? Just give me something. We couldn't get through on the phones, nothing. Bob Menendez's office emails me back with some crucial information, but it's still not enough. Some real crucial information. They say, look, we located your passport. It's located in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, in a processing center, and here's the application number. We reached out to them. We're waiting for them to reach out back. So I'm like, okay, days pass by. What do they say? We're still waiting. We're still waiting. As soon as we find something out, we'll let you know. We're literally like down to, we were supposed to be leaving Wednesday. It's Friday. It's that Friday. And they still didn't have an answer. So I'm now thinking, if the passport is in Arizona, I gotta find a way to get to Arizona. So I start looking up flights. I start looking up how much it would cost to get a round trip to go to Arizona and get back. Because I looked online at the processing center. I like to get my information. I looked on and it said a lot of people saying if you go in there, they'll help you, even if you have no appointment. So I'm like, all right, I seen that information. I'm like, if I could go in there, I could get in there and I could talk, I could speak, I could speak my case and I could get something done. But the price of going a round trip just to do that just was like, I would do it if I really have to, but there's gotta be a better way. It's down to the clock. It's like literally like fourth and inches, seconds left. Like, this is how I'm feeling, like in a Super Bowl shit. So I'm like, yo, we gotta do something. I'm like flying out there and then flying back. All that we had going on, it just was not really the best option. So I'm like, all right. Sloawn's like, keep calling the mayor, keep calling her. I'm like, nah. They not gonna get an answer in time. So I think of the most unorthodox, unconventional idea. And I'm gonna tell y'all what that is. I said, if I know my passport is in Arizona, all I gotta do is get somebody from Arizona into that office and they could be my voice and a conduit for me to get information and actually get my passport. But how am I gonna do that? Because I don't know anyone in Arizona, right? So I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? I deal with networking and reaching out to people in different states and different cities and different countries because I train a lot of people virtually like that. So I'm like, you know what? If I could create an opportunity for somebody to help me and I help them, I could get somebody in there and they could get information or even really get me my passport that day. So I put an ad up. No bullshit, no lie. I put an ad up. I put a simple ad up online on Craigslist. You can make $150 in one day if you have the following things: reliable transportation, basic reliable transportation, could be public, a smartphone, and good communication skills. Put the ad up for Tucson, Arizona. Now, a lot of people will be thinking like, who's gonna respond to that? But I know, because I have insider information. I know, man, I knew people will respond to it, but the only thing was getting the right person. That was the only thing, finding the right person for the job to get in there. So I put it up. People start busting on my phone. I put my phone number up. People start blowing my phone up. What's the opportunity? What's the opportunity? What's the opportunity? I'm ready. I got this. I got that. I got this. So I had to screen a few people. First guys talked to, he has a real thick accent. He doesn't even seem enthusiastic about doing something like that. But then I break it down to him. He's like, oh, I could do that. But then I'm like, could I send this guy in there if he's not really the person that can articulate well enough or be like, you know, pushing the envelope to get it done? Because he could go in there and just be whatever and blow the whole job. So I go through him. I'm like, nah. Then I go through a couple of people. Then I find one guy. This guy, man, I could tell as soon as I spoke to him that he was hungry, that he needed some money. And he said a few key things that let me know that he was serious. He was like, well, how do I know you're not a scammer? Then he asked me about the money. Then he said, you know, if I go out there and I don't get it done, are you still going to pay me the money? So I said, listen, man, you go out there, show me that you're out there, video, picture, show me that you're in front of the passport center. I'll send you half of the money. You get in the door. He said, what if I don't get you the passport? I said, if you get in the door and you could get me on the phone with the passport people, I'll give you the rest of the money. What's your cash app? What's your cash app? Just like that. I'm not playing no games. And I sent him, this was the thing that he knew I was serious, and we both knew each other was serious. I sent them a screenshot from Bob Menendez's office of them saying my passport with my application number was located in Arizona. So once he's seen that, he's like, oh, he's serious. Then I'm waiting for him to get there to show me the picture. He was there. He showed me. I'm like, oh, he's serious. I'm like, all right, get in there. Get in there. Talk that talk. Get me on the phone. So he goes in there. Craziest play. Unconventional thing. The most unconventional thing you could think of. He gets in there. Calls me. As soon as he calls me, they're like, no, we can't do that. We can't do it. I hear them in the background. I hear all the people in the workers in the back like, no, can't. He has to physically be here. We cannot do that. No, tell him he has to. So I'm on speaker. I'm like, no, I can't make it there because I'm in New Jersey. I'm like, I cannot make it there right now. I'm like, I need this passport. I literally got a trip coming up that we spent thousands of dollars on in days. And I have no passport. I have no real update on my passport. They're like, you got to be here. I said, so you telling me if I fly out there right now, I could get my passport? They said, what? They started stammering a little bit. They said, no, we just can't do it. I said, look, is there any way that I could carry this conversation on with y'all? Because I can't get through. There's no way I could get through on the phone. I'm like, is there any way I could carry this conversation on the phone with you guys? He said, the guy's in the background, he's kicking up. See, I knew he was the right guy. He's like, yeah, look, because they showed him the screenshot, another integral part. He showed him, this is what he sent from the senator's office. They said it's here right now. As soon as he said that, and I was like, look, I need this passport. This is urgent. So they say, all right, they look at that. Damn, people been reaching out. They just haven't been responding. So the lady says, all right, I'll tell you what, this is what we'll do. Your friend, she addressing me as your friend to him. We don't even know each other. I just hired this guy. But he kicked up. I just hired him. She's like, your friend, keep him on the phone right now, and we're going to expedite it overnight. It'll be there on Monday. Monday, the trip is Wednesday, leaving. Wednesday, early morning. They said he just got to give his credit card information right here. Now, this is a big gamble. A lot of people will be like, well, why would you give your credit card information over the phone? You got to trust certain plays like this. I knew this was the one. This guy needs bread, but he's in here around all these people. You can hear him in the background right there. Good thing I know my credit card number by heart. Read it off. All right, confirmed. And this is how I knew it was legit. Because some people will be like, how do you know he was even really there? As soon as I said that, they read my number off and said, all right, Chadwell Norman, your number is 973, blah, 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 blah. All right, good. We'll give you a call back if we need anything from you. Other than that, it's going to be expedited, overnighted today, and you will get it on Monday, no problem. I said, woo. But still, it just didn't seem real yet. It didn't seem real yet, y'all. I'm telling y'all. But it seemed real when I got off the phone with him. I thanked him. I said, look, man, here's the rest of the money. God bless you, man. And we'll be in touch. we'll be lifetime friends and we'll be you're the MVP. You saved the fucking game, man. You know what I'm saying? So I get off the phone with him and everything. I tell Sloawn, she's skeptical. She's like, what? How do you know that's gonna work? How do you know this is even real? I looked at my account that night. They took the money out. I already knew how much it was gonna be. $60 plus $17 for the expedition fee. $77 was taken out of my account from Tucson, Arizona processing center. So I'm like, all right, we know this is real. Because she's like, you don't got no email confirmation. You don't got nothing. I'm like, yo, I got to trust this process. This is the only play that we got. If it's not for this, we're hit. By the time they get in touch with them, the plane to be taken off is done. So the days over the weekend, waiting till Monday, very excruciating wait. But I held my composure. We all waiting. Everybody's waiting to see, is this really going to be a thing? Am I really going to get my passport in time? It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday comes. But this is what I do. I reached back. I did some more research and I found out about mobile passport. So I'm like, I need a plan B. I'm like, in case this doesn't come on Monday, I don't want to be hit for Tuesday. So I reached back out to my guy. I say, look, you willing to go back out there? I'll pay you again. You know, I got to make it make sense. A round trip to Arizona would have been about $600. I said, look, I could probably throw you another 50, 60 if you go back in there. If I don't get it on Monday and put me on the phone again, we speak about a mobile passport. He said, I'm down, I'm with it. Monday comes. I got things to do. I wake up. I'm about to go through my routine. I'm telling Sloawn, I said, look, because somebody's like, well, who's going to be there to sign for it? Because sometimes it's like that with overnight delivery. I said, look, Sloawn will be there to sign for it. If I'm not, I wake up, I'm about to go through my daily routine. I tell Sloawn, I'm like, you going to be here? She's like, yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm like, all right. I didn't really want to leave, but I had a lot of things I had to do. So I'm like, damn, I got to leave. I'm like, Sloawn, because you signed for it? She's like, yeah, I'll be here. I'm like, all right, bet. It's Monday, beginning of the day. I'm leaving out. I really don't want to leave, man. I get in my car, yo. I start pulling off. UPS pulls up. UPS pulls up, y'all. So I'm like, oh, first I seen FedEx, but they was like through the complex in and out. I see UPS pull up right in front of the building. So I stop. Guy hops out with one folder, one little piece of mail. Go straight, drop it right in front of the door, spin off. So as he's walking off, I meet him as he's getting into his truck. I'm like, did that package say Chadwick Norman on it? He said, I don't know. It was an overnight delivery. I don't know. Flew in. We just flew it in. I don't know. I'm like, all right. He walks off. I go to the door. I'm like, oh, this is real. This gotta be. I go to the door, pick it up. Chadwick Norman. Overnight delivery from Arizona. Huh? Y'all, man, I'm telling y'all, man. Could you believe it? In the nick of time. That's like the equivalent of throwing up a Hail Mary, an 80-yard Hail Mary, and it just seconds left, the clock is out. And the wide receiver that wasn't even a star player just catches it, wins the game. Busted open passport. Busted open. And it was in there. And it was in there. Just in the nick of fucking time. My birthday was tomorrow. It was Monday. My birthday was Tuesday. We were flying out Wednesday morning. Trick play. Motherfucking saved the day. Got the passport. Everyone's elated. I tell people the story. They're like, yo, I can't believe, who would have thought of that? How did you pull that shit off? When your back's against the wall, the pressure's on, sometimes you come up with some creative plays. When your hands is forced. So now I got my passport, got my first stamp on it. Costa Rica was amazing. If it wasn't for that play, I don't know what would have happened, when I would have been able to go to Costa Rica. Thank God everything worked out. We got the blog coming up. Amazing trip. extravagant. Everything was just beautiful, even more than I could imagine. You know what I'm saying? So thank God everything worked out, and that's the story. Believe it or not, I'm telling y'all, that's the illest story you may hear this year or in your lifetime. Pulled it off, went to Costa Rica, had the experience, and thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, put your notifications on, rock out with the Win family. We got more travel vlogs coming up, more videos, tons and tons and tons of great content for y'all. So stay tuned, y'all. Thanks for rocking out. Peace.